Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me now? Blake, can you hear me? Can everyone hear? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that audio trouble this morning, and if and so we'll get rolling here. And so I want to thank you for joining our October 12th PZM Essentials webinar. And so we're going to be looking at the increased raw data upload time. And so we're going to upload new raw data files, create a new enterprise, export data to a new enterprise, view the field boundaries, and then create actual production scenarios. And we'll follow up with any questions you might have during this webinar, and we'll answer them. And so my name is Dan Baugh. I am one of the Precision Business Planning Specialists here at AgSolver. And so we'll get rolling into the application now. So we'll sign into Profit Zone Manager. Minimize this. So what we're first going to do, we're going to add our new enterprise. So we'll name this Dan Baugh Test Enterprise. We'll go ahead and click Save. And so after we've created our enterprise that we want to bring into Profit Zone Manager, we will next bring in our yield data that we have for a specific enterprise. And so the first step, we're going to click on Upload Machine Data. And for this enterprise, we're going to be pulling in an enterprise that's about a 2,000 acre grower. So, and be pulling in just their 2014 harvest yield data. So we'll first select the harvest raw data, and we're going to call this 2014 moose data. Next, we're going to select the Browse button. And for this data, I have it saved on a USB. Navigate to the yield data, in which we will select the .cn1 file for 2014 that has all the acres on it. We will then select that and then click Open. So, and now it is uploading. And whereas before, this process used to take, for this size, about 5 minutes to upload, and you can see we're already crunching through it. We're already at about 10% already. So we've increased the upload time, and we also are able to now, the system can create automatically field boundaries based off of yield or as applied planting data within a field. So right now we're just uploading new machine data to the machine data page, and then once that is uploaded, we will then export all those fields to an entire enterprise. So it's a batch export. So, and it's moving right along. Shape files are shape files are just as fast. So, and really we've improved the data performance and the upload procedure time when we're handling raw data, whether that's raw yield data or raw as applied planting data or herbicide or fertilizer data. So while that is loading, like I said, we can now do a batch export and create field boundaries based off of that data to help speed up the process of creating fields and getting yield and as applied data into the system. So, and right now we're working off of my home Wi-Fi, so that will also be dependent on the upload time as well. While that is uploading, so we're a little over 3/4 of the way. So, and this file has all 2,000 or 2,500 acres within this compressed file, all of the fields from 2014. So we're a little north of 90%. So we can go ahead and click save on that. So, and now we'll scroll down. So what we'll do, we'll select another. So I've already pre-uploaded this file to Profit Zone Manager of the 2014 harvest data. So, and what we're going to do is year 2014 by enterprise, or excuse me, we're going to click on by task name. So we have corn and soybeans. We're going to select both of them. And then that brings up all of our yield data at the right-hand side here. After we select all of that by task name, then we are going to export all of those data. We're going to choose our enterprise, which is that Danba test enterprise. Field name. so the system will already automatically create the field boundaries based off of the names that we have in place. So, and then the data name. So, but first we want to select yes, Profit Zone Manager will automatically create field boundaries and place them in selected enterprise. Select yes. Choose scenario, standby enterprise, then the year 2014, data name, and I'm just going to call this 2014 yield data. We're going to select all. So we're going to select all field names and then click on export and go to enterprise to get the reports running. So now the worker is processing field boundaries, and once field boundaries comes in, they'll be displayed on the left-hand corner there. And then we will automatically have all of that data sent to those specific scenarios. So then we can just create actual or planning scenarios based off of that yield data. So, and then over time, while this is working, we will see fields appear in the left-hand column here. And we will also get notifications up at the top right-hand corner. And we also get an email saying when fields are available to be viewed, whereas before we had to create each individual field boundary and then export the specific yield data to that field boundary. Well, now we can create the field boundaries based off of the raw yield data that we have in place, and then set our crop budgets accordingly. So the system has become more automated. So in this process may take 7 minutes or so before all the fields are in there. While that's working, is there any questions anyone might have while that's processing? To show what that looks like, so we've already exported field data into one enterprise, and this is using that 2014 data, and we'll click on one of the fields. So we have the field 70 where it automatically brought in the field boundaries. We'll minimize that. So brought in the field boundaries for this particular field based off of the yield data, and then we can come in, select the scenario. So we'll call this actual production. And in this case, we have 2013 yield data. We name our scenario actual production corn, scenario type actual, crop corn. Click on 2013 corn production, and we'll click save. Once we've done that and created our actual production scenario, we'll pull up our crop budget and scroll down to the state average crop budget templates to give us a starting point. Click on continuous corn. We have our commodity price, equipment, seed, fertilizer, really all the expense line items within our budget. We'll go ahead and click save. So, and then just like that, we have a profitability map and a scenario created. I want to go back to that test enterprise that we created and see where we're coming along with processing data. Back up. So it's still working on processing data. But that's a workflow of exporting data and uploading it to the system and then exporting it, all of the yield data to create field boundaries and then enter in and create actual production scenarios. I do want to invite you to our next webinar at 11 o'clock, which is our intermediate planning webinar, and that's selecting crop type for 2017, where we will be looking at on a field in particular whether we should raise corn or soybeans on that field with the representative crop budgets to see which crop will provide the highest profit and return on investment. So, and if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email, and we can set up a webinar to go through each of these steps that we went through today within your enterprise and create and upload all of your information and data to your enterprise. So I want to thank you for joining our October 12th PZM Essentials webinar, Increased Raw Data Upload Time and Procedure. So I want to thank you again for joining. Bye.